This is exactly how I'd start a one-person business and a personal brand with Claude AI if I started over from zero today. And the plan still works even if you're starting from nothing. Now, one of our community members did $185,000 in a single month with this model, and the startup cost is a $20 subscription and the phone that's already in your pocket. And your first video with your personal brand will be live within 7 days. And I know all about starting over because I did it the hard way. I was $300,000 in student debt for a pharmacy doctorate that I walked away from. And so I built the From Zero playbook that I wish somebody had handed me, and I've now run it with over 1,000 people in our community. Nurses, doctors, tradesmen, people in IT, cybersecurity, software development, people from all different backgrounds, and almost all of them were total beginners, and their results are the proof, not mine. And here's where I'll lose the gurus. Most people try to find a business first, the product, the LLC, the logo, then they go beg strangers to buy it. That is ass backwards. The smarter move is the reverse. Build the audience first, and the audience literally hands you the business. So you need to stop chasing buyers, and you need buyers to start chasing you. And we help build this for a nurse with 15 years of knowledge and zero content, but also for the guy whose industry is shrinking underneath him, and also for the 55-year-old who got told that it's too late, and for the beginner who has no clue what their niche is. So this plan works for you no matter what background you're coming from. Now, every figure in this video is sourced on screen. We are showing the receipts because 90% of the start from zero advice out there right now is AI generated, useless, or both, and I'm damn tired of it. And so in this video, I'm gonna be showing you step by step, literally starting from zero, the first 3 months of everything that you should do to start a personal brand and a one-person business with Claude AI. Even if you don't have enough time, even if you're not tech savvy, and even if you've never made $1 outside of your job before. So if you appreciate me making this type of content and you wanna see me make more of it in the future, then let me know by gently cheersing that like button, and let's jump into it right now. So let me start from the sentence that nobody in the AI space will say out loud. Starting from zero is not your problem. Starting from zero is your advantage. And I know that sounds backwards, so let me actually show you somebody instead of arguing with you. Craig is a realtor from Montana. He's in his 70s, and he had been trying to upload videos on YouTube for nearly 4 years, and he was doing this in order to promote his realtor business in Montana. And he has one of the biggest realty businesses there. And throughout that entire 4-year mark, even running paid ads to his videos sometimes, he got 40,000 total views. And this is despite hiring an agency to help him with YouTube, hiring other YouTube coaches, etc. He just couldn't break through. Then after joining our community, one of his very first videos using our system did over 100,000 views. And it's not because he was some kind of natural on camera. He didn't even make eye contact with the camera in the video. And it's not because he had some kind of insanely good camera setup. He actually recorded the video on his webcam. It's because he had 40 years of knowing things that people desperately want to know, and he used a system that made that the advantage. And that's the part that everybody gets wrong about starting from zero. You're not at zero. You're at 0 subscribers on YouTube, or you're at 0 followers on other social media platforms, which, by the way, if you want to grow your personal brand on other platforms, we'll talk about how to do that later in the video. You basically treat YouTube as the mother platform, and then you syndicate the content to the other platforms, and we'll talk about that and how you can do that later on. But the point is, you're not at zero. You still have decades of lived experience that the internet hasn't heard of yet. And so if you're wondering if you can actually give value on the internet, all you need to do is ask yourself one question. If you had a time machine and you could go back in time and tell the younger version of yourself all the mistakes that you made, all the problems that you had that you were able to overcome, all the things that you tried that worked, would you save yourself a bunch of time, effort, money, emotional heartache, etc.? And if the answer is yes to that, then you can share those same exact lessons with other people on the internet and give them a ton of value. And if you're thinking that you're not the world-renowned expert in something, well, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like the gym. Nobody trusts the shredded guy selling supplements. He's too far away from you. Everybody trusts the guy who just started posting his progress pics because you can see the climb happening in real time. So in many cases, your zero is actually the most relatable content on the internet, and relatable is what sells in 2026. And the truth is, like, let's just say I was trying to get better at basketball. You know, I'm not very good at basketball. I'm maybe a 3 out of 10 max. And so if I hired LeBron James to teach me as a coach, it would be a waste of both of our times because he's so far ahead of me in basketball that he hasn't been a 3 out of 10 in basketball since he was probably 3 years old. And so it just wouldn't make any sense. So what would be smart is for me to maybe hire someone who's a 5 out of 10, and they're going to help me get from a 3 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10. Or maybe hire someone who's a 7 out of 10 max, and they can help me get from a 3 out of 10 to maybe a 5 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. But going straight to someone who's a 10 out of 10 wouldn't make any sense to me, and it just wouldn't be relatable. relatable. And it's the same exact thing on YouTube. You don't need to be a 10 out of 10 at something to teach people. You just need to be a few steps ahead of them. And here's the thing, the timing on this is stupid good. The census counts over 30 million one-person businesses in America, and about 84% of all businesses in this country are one person, not small businesses, one-person businesses. And this is already the normal way to run a business, and nobody told you. Meanwhile, 51% of American adults have never used an AI chatbot. Not never built one, they've never even used one. And I know that's probably hard to believe after ChatGPT and Claude have been out for so long, but 51% of American adults haven't even used. And of the people who do use AI, only about 3% of them actually pay for it. So when your brain tells you, I'm too late, look at those numbers again. You are not too late. Statistically, you're the early crowd and nobody told you. Now, Sam Altman, the guy running OpenAI, has literally said that he's in a group chat with tech CEO friends where they run a betting pool and they're betting on the first one-person billion-dollar company. So I'm not promising you $1 billion. I'm showing you what the smartest people in tech think one person can do right now with the entry ticket costs of being 20 bucks. Now, before you run off and do whatever every other AI video tells you, no, the answer is not go vibe code an app. And I've covered this before, but building an app is a full-time job pretending to be a side hustle, and well over 99% of them fail. And the answer sure as hell isn't pumping out faceless AI slop channels. The platforms are actively bearing that garbage as well. And the answer also isn't starting an AI implementation agency, at least in the way that most people talk about it on YouTube, because trying to get customers for that is going to be a full-time job. So the answer is older than AI and simpler than an app. You don't start a business from zero, you start an audience from zero, and the audience hands you the business. And that's the entire video in one sentence. The next 20-ish minutes are gonna be me proving it to you and then handing you the exact playbook so that you can do it yourself. Quick break, I'm gonna be doing a live training this week on how to start YouTube step-by-step for beginners. This is gonna be for people who want to start a channel, but they don't know what niche to pick, what videos to make, or how to actually get started the right way. And it's a completely free training, no strings attached. In fact, I'm giving away even more bonuses at this training. Just as an example, I'm gonna be giving away my niche validator, which works for ChatGPT, as well as Claude Skills, which is a super valuable piece of software where you can finally figure out what the best niche for you is. So do not miss out on this training. Make sure you sign up for it down in the description and the pinned comment below, because you only get it if you join the training. So if you don't join now, you might miss out on it forever. But that being said, in the workshop, you'll get to meet me and you'll get to ask me questions directly. So I look forward to seeing you. So click the link in the description and the pinned comment below this week. Make sure you put it on your calendar. And if for whatever reason you missed out on it or you weren't able to attend, make sure you still click that link, because we might be having workshops in the future as well, and you'll be the first to know about it. So yeah, hope to see you there. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Okay, so let's set the rules of the game, because from zero means something specific and I'm not gonna cheat. So in this situation, like what I would do if I was starting from zero, here's what I would keep: my work ethic, my life experience, the phone in my pocket, and a $20 a month Claude subscription, and just 1 hour a day. Now here's what I give up: my audience, my money, my credentials, my network, and every advantage that I built over 6 years, which means I would not buy a camera, I would not form an LLC, and I would not build a website or design a logo or print business cards. I know, deep breaths, your logo can wait. But day one, I do exactly one thing, and that is open Claude and figure out where my unfair pond is. More on that here in a minute. And before your brain starts listing reasons this won't work, understand the bet that you're actually making. If you win, you win. And if you lose, you still win. Worst case on this play, you spend an hour a day, you learn the most valuable skill of the decade, and you built a public record of your climb, which is paid market research for whatever you do next. So every video upload is an asset that compounds, and compare that to a guy who spent $100,000 on a franchise or 6 months building an app that nobody downloaded. So the downside is almost nothing, and the upside is generational. And if you think this only works in theory, well, meet Alex Shep, one of our community members. Alex started from absolute zero, no audience, no brand, no business, no nothing. He picked his pawn, ran the playbook, showed up on camera, and built it to around $15,000 a month from zero. And that is not a lottery ticket. That is a repeatable system that's doing exactly what it's designed to do. And it's not just business guys like Alex. Jen is a nurse, basically zero content experience. And she started uploading on YouTube, literally just sharing the same knowledge that she was sharing with her patients on a day-to-day basis, didn't have to learn anything new. And just a couple months in, she was making a full-time income from YouTube. And now she has over 3 videos that have gotten over 600,000 views. And just last month, she made over $10,000 just from AdSense alone. And she quit her job as a nurse, and she's literally doing her dream, which is is to travel all over the United States in a camper van, literally living her dream life. And it's not just her. Isaiah teaches people how to sing better. He made nearly $30,000 in a single month when he first started with us. And if you think that I'm just cherry picking people out of my community, well, there's a lot of people that have that thought. And so what I did is I literally picked a random 50-year-old in my family and I blew up his channel just to show that I could do it with anybody. And it was my own brother, Zach. He's a trades guy who's in his 50s, who never uploaded a video in his life, was not tech savvy, never made $1 outside of the trades. And he was able to hit $214 in a single day in less than a month. And now he's about a year in, and last month he made over $18,000. So these are 4 completely different people, same playbook, and they're not special, and that is the whole point. Now you might be thinking, well, Shane, I love this, but I need to pick my niche. Well, we are gonna help you pick your niche. With that being said, I am doing a live training this week, which is designed to help you pick your niche as well as a step-by-step guide to get started so you can grow your personal brand in your one-person business. And this is a live training where you can ask me any questions you want as well. Plus, I'll be giving away an AI that's designed to help you pick your niche if you don't have one in the first place. If you already do have a niche, it'll help you make it 10 times better. So do not miss out on this. Click that link in the description in the pinned comment below, and I look forward to seeing you there. But let's start with phase 1 of the zero advantage. And phase 1 of the playbook is picking your pond. And from zero, almost everybody gets this wrong in the same direction. They go too big. Now, I told you about Jen. Let me actually show you because her story is the lesson. Jen spent years as a nurse, 15-ish years of knowledge. 0 videos posted. So instead of starting a channel about health, the ocean, she went tiny. Her corner of nursing, the stuff that she could talk about in her sleep. And typically she helps older people on the internet, and she just showed up consistently, no fancy production, and within a couple months she had a video pop off and got over 500,000 views. And she started making a full-time income. And that is not luck, that's the niche doing 90% of the work. But here's the mental model. You are not trying to be a famous fish in the ocean. You're trying to find the small pond where you're one of the only people who knows where the fish are. In the ocean, you're competing with every media company on earth. In your pond, you're competing with maybe 3 people. And 2 of them quit after 5 videos. And by the way, later on, you can expand from your pond. You're not stuck there forever, but that's where you need to start. So how do you find your pond when you think you've got nothing? Well, there's 3 overlapping principles. What you know. So for instance, your job, your hobbies, your obsessions, what you're naturally talented at, what you did a lot of when you were a kid, or what you spent a lot of time doing by happenstance, scars, etc. Then the second thing is what a specific person will pay to fix. And then the third thing is what you could talk about every week without hating your life, AKA your passion. And where those 3 things overlap, that's gonna be the pond. Now you might be thinking, Shane, I don't have expertise. I'm not a nurse with 15 years. I've got nothing. Wrong. You got a journey, and journey content is the one lane where zero beats the experts. So you're not teaching from the mountaintop, you're documenting from the trail, and the trail is where the audience actually is. And remember the gym analogy. People don't follow the finished guy, they follow the climb. Look at the biggest basketball YouTubers on YouTube. None of them are NBA players. They're all players that are pretty good, but none of them are the world's best players. So you don't have to be the world-renowned expert to make content on YouTube. Again, you just have to be a few steps ahead of somebody else that you can help. Now, I have Claude skills and prompts that we're gonna put in the description in the pinned comment below. That should be the 3rd link down there. Now, these are the light versions of the skills and the prompts that I give to people in my community. And the reason that they're light is because they aren't personalized. So in order to personalize them, you'd have to attend the live training and get into my community. And again, live training, click the link in the description in the pinned comment below. With that being said, these are gonna get you 80% of the way there. So you can just screenshot this, I'll put it on the screen, and then just copy and paste it into Claude. But basically it's gonna say, act as my niche strategist, interview me 1 question at a time, short questions, no lectures. And it's gonna have this part right here. It's gonna ask you a bunch of questions, it's gonna interview you, you're gonna give it the answers, and then once it has enough context, it's gonna give you a really good answer as well. And this is where Claude changes the from zero game completely. Now watch this. I'm gonna have Claude interview me like a niche strategist would, and it asks about your work history, your scars, stuff people already ask you for help with, and then it hands you 3 pond options with the demand logic spelled out. So what used to take people years of second guessing now takes about 15 minutes. And this exact prompt is on the screen right now. Again, screenshot it, it's yours. You can do that later, but for now, just follow along in the video. So here's how to start. Tonight, open Claude, free tier works to start, pro is $20 a month when you're ready, and then run the pond finder prompt on screen. Get your 3 pond options, then reality check demand, search each pond on YouTube, and then look for small channels, generally speaking under 50 to 100K subscribers with videos way above their sub count. And that's the proof that the pond feeds. Then pick 1 pond by the end of the night, not the perfect one, the one that you can talk about weekly, and you can steer the boat once it's moving. Now, real talk, this pond step is where 90% of people stall out. We've watched smart, capable people, circled their niche for years, literally years, still deciding, sometimes over a decade, still trying to pick their niche. And I am not going to let that be you. So we took this way further than one prompt. We built the full Claude skill that runs this interview the way that I run it with our private community members. And it is trained on thousands of real niche picking sessions that we've done with real people. And it's basically me and your Claude asking the uncomfortable questions. And it is free this week when you register for the live workshop. So click the link in the description in the pinned comment below to register for that. Make sure you click add to your calendar, and I look forward to seeing you there. We'll go over exactly how to pick the niche, and I'll also show you how to personalize it with the Claude skill. All right, now let's talk about section 4, phase 2, which is the machine. You're not going to create content. You're going to document, and Claude is going to turn 1 hour a day into a full content company. And by the way, if you don't believe me that you can do this in 1 hour a day, well, my brother spent 4 hours a week or less doing this. So he actually did it in less than 1 hour a day. And he was able to make it from zero to full-time income in less than 1 month. And just last month, after his first year, he made over $18,000 that month. Right? So you can definitely make this happen in 1 hour a day or less. But just look at Josh as well, one of our community members. Josh works in IT and cybersecurity, and instead of inventing some content persona, he just documented what his day job already taught him. So for instance, he would get into a certain type of job and he would document how he got into that job. He would talk about the certificates that he needed to get, the career paths, the stuff that juniors kept asking him about the work, et cetera, et cetera. He just turned that into videos. And he started making these really useful videos, helping people get the right certifications or, get an online degree if they need to. Or maybe they don't have to get a degree for a lot of jobs. He would tell them to not get it, or how to make a really good portfolio, or what companies to apply to, et cetera, et cetera. He just made very useful videos. And the videos turned into an audience that trusted him. And some of the people in that audience were people who were working at Fortune 50 and FANG companies, which are the hardest companies to get into in the entire world. And those people started reaching out to him, offering him jobs at those companies. So he wasn't even applying to these Fortune 50 and FANG companies. They were reaching out to him, telling him to apply for the job. And he accepted one of those jobs. And then he was making multiple 6 figures a year. It was a remote job where he could work anywhere that he wanted. And so he was traveling the world, and he settled down in Japan, which was his dream country to live in. But then his YouTube channel just kept growing. When he first started working with us, he was making less than $1,000 a month, but we helped him get to $5,000, then $10,000, then $30,000 a month, even though he was still doing it part-time. And then eventually, after a few years of working with us, he got all the way to $185,000 in a single month. Now, compare that to Boogie2988, who has 4 million subscribers and has said publicly that he makes about $3,700 a month from YouTube with 4 million subscribers. That is less than the average income for an American. Meanwhile, Josh, with a 40th of the audience, out-earned him 50 to 1 in his best month. So no, you don't need to get big, you need to get specific, and you need a machine that never misses a week. So here's the mental model for phase 2. A race car doesn't win because the driver does everything. It wins because the driver drives and the pit crew swarms the car and changes out the tires and fixes any issues as fast as possible. So you're the driver, the face, the voice, the lived experience. Claude is the entire pit crew, and it's the car itself. So it's your researcher, your script writer, your title and thumbnail tester, your analytics nerd, your idea machine. So it's 5 employees worth of output for $20. And technically you could just get started with the free version, but I highly recommend the $20 a month one, right? So no payroll, no meetings, no drama. So the daily machine is 1 hour. 20 minutes recording on your phone, 20 minutes in Claude, ideas, outlines, titles, and 20 minutes when it comes to uploading and doing maintenance stuff like replying to comments on your channel, et cetera, et cetera. So here's a Claude prompt. I'm gonna put it on the screen. You can screenshot it, put it into Claude. But it says, you are my 1-person content team for my channel about your pond. Here's what happened in my world this week. Then put 2 to 3 bullets of what you did, learned, struggled with, et cetera. And then just put the rest here. So run that every day and you'll never sit there wondering what to post, because Claude's gonna be cranking out the ideas, the outlines, the titles, and you're just the human being on camera actually living the journey. So that's the machine, and that's how you do it in 1 hour a day or less. And look, your first videos are going to be rough. I'm telling you, post them anyways. Nobody's first videos are great, and nobody gives about most of the first videos on my channel as well. And that's exactly why this works, right? The bar for entry filters out everyone who needs it to be pretty, right? And I'm telling you right now, the people that overthink this, the people that think that they need a good camera or they need a good set, or they have to edit the video in a certain way, or it has to be perfect in some way, the perfectionists that over-index on that, those are the people who do not get results. It's the people who don't overthink it that get results. the people who just literally take action, or it's the people who are very smart and they know that the only way they're going to get really good at it is just by volume, just by posting a lot of videos, right? Those are the people who get results. So if you're worried your stuff won't look professional enough, well, if people wanted Netflix level quality production, they'd turn on Netflix, they'd turn on the TV, they come to YouTube for someone real, right? YouTube is for person to person sharing, not giant soulless company to person sharing, right? That's what YouTube is all about. So here's how to start. This week, record one long form video on your phone, or you can just do it on your webcam. That's what Nurse Jen did. She literally just recorded on her webcam, right on her computer. That's also what Craig the Realtor did. He recorded right on his webcam, right on his computer. And there's tons of other people in the program that have recorded with their cell phones, right? So you can do it on your phone, on your webcam, 5 to 10 minutes, one idea, natural light, and done is better than good. And then post it and run the content machine prompt daily. Save it as a Claude project so it remembers your pond and your voice. And here's the cadence from 0. One long form video per week. Then, and we'll get into this a little bit later on, you can cut 3 to 5 short videos out of that long form video and syndicate it to other platforms and then point it all back to YouTube. And more on that later, but we'll also get into how to do that in the live workshop and you can ask me questions about it, etc. So again, live workshop link, click the link in the description, the pinned comment below. Then phase 3 is where the one person business actually shows up. And we're gonna do it backwards from how every guru teaches it. Now, I would not sell a single thing in my first 30 days. Yes, the marketing guy, Shane, just told you not to sell. And stay with me because this is the highest ROI patience in your life. Now, this is a conversation I just had with one of our clients, Dr. Danny. Dr. Danny joined us and immediately had a video take off. Last time I checked, it was over 900,000 views. It might even be over 1 million by now. And she was asking me, Shane, how should I monetize? Right? What should I sell? And I told her, honestly, don't sell anything right now. You could, if you wanted to, you could sell something and you could monetize, but it's a lot smarter to just focus on getting the right views and building the right audience right off the bat. And that's exactly what I told her to do. Now, there are some exceptions to this. Sometimes it does make sense to just sell people stuff right away. But a lot of the time, especially if you don't know what to sell, you can actually just have your audience tell you what to sell, right? So instead of building the product first, you validate that people actually want the product and are willing to pay money for it before you build the product. So the audience in many cases can hand you the answer, and that's the whole trick, right? Because when you make content, you're basically getting paid to do market research for your business. Now, if you're watching this and you already have a product or service, obviously go ahead and sell it on your channel. But if you're watching this and you don't already have a product or service, what I highly recommend you do is just sell hourly calls. So this is exactly what Nathan Rose did recently. He's somebody who recently joined our program and he was watching a video just like this just a few months ago and he was starting a business from scratch and he decided he wanted to become a chess coach. And he didn't quite know what he was going to sell. And so I told him, just allow people to purchase 1 hour of your time and then see what they ask you for. And so he used a tool like Calendly to allow people to start purchasing 1 hour coaching sessions from him. And I believe he charged $100 per hour and they kept telling him that they wanted the same things. And then he launched a high ticket coaching program that costs $6,000 for 6 months because he knows the exact problem that he's helping people solve when it comes to getting better at chess. So floor 1 is AdSense, right? That's the floor, not the business, the floor. And AdSense is basically the ads that pop up on your channel. So when you see ads pop up on people's channels, they get a small percentage of whatever the advertiser paid. And AdSense alone can be really good money because you share the revenue with YouTube and you get 55% and they get 45%. So last month, for instance, we made over $30,000 just from AdSense alone, but that was less than 5% of the total money we made. So these other monetization methods, you can make significantly more money than what you make from AdSense. Now, floor 2 is affiliate marketing. This is basically where you just promote products and services that you already like. And you don't even need your own product. You can just partner with somebody who already built one and take a cut from the introduction. And that's how my brother made his first real money. He never built a thing. He just partnered with people who already had really good products and services, and he just talked about them during his video. People clicked the link, and he ended up getting paid. Now, in this same category would be sponsorships, which is almost the same exact thing, but you also get paid an upfront fee to talk about the product or service in the video. So typically with sponsorships, you might get paid $1,000 to make the video, and then you also get paid from affiliate marketing when people buy the products or services as well. Then floor 3, and this is the big one from 0, a service or coaching. And this is where a tiny audience pays large. Now, this is the one where I've seen the most people have success from, and you're literally doing the work for them, or you're working one-on-one with them to help them get the work done. And when I say you can make money from this with a tiny audience, I am not kidding. More on that here in a moment. So floor 4 is something that's more scalable, right? Floor 4 is all about scalability. So this is something like creating a digital product or something that's a monthly recurring membership or a software, something like that, where you can create it one time and then sell it forever. Now, The big mistake that people make is they go straight to floor 4. But the problem with that is those are the most competitive types of products that you could possibly sell. Because of the fact that it's scalable, you're going to be competing with big companies that have a lot of money and they're really good. So you actually want to go for the things that aren't scalable because there's way less competition there. And then later on, you can move into the stuff that is more scalable. Now, if you think you need a big audience for floor number 3, because floor number 3 is where the real money's at, one of our community members, Carla, closed 100,000 plus from a single contract with a channel of about 1,500 subscribers. So you do not need 100,000 subscribers. You need 1,500 of the right ones and an offer that solves a real problem. So here's the honest money timeline from 0. Month 1, probably nothing, right? You're building the pond and the machine. Month 2, the first small checks. An affiliate commission here, monetization threshold there. Then month 3 is where it turns because now there's enough trust for floor 3 and 1 high ticket sales beats 6 months of AdSense. But you want to have a realistic timeline here. And realistically, the money making does typically happen in that 2 to 3 month mark. But most people give up within the first 30 days, which means there's way less competition for you if you don't. So here's how to start. Day 1 to 30, sell nothing. Collect every question that your comments or your DMs or people that ask you questions if they pay for your coaching or pay for 1 hour of your time, etc. And that list can be your future offer. Now, by the way, you don't have to do the 1 hour coachings, but I highly recommend doing it. You could also just jump on coaching calls with people for free if you want, just to do market research. But I do recommend actually talking to your audience. Then day 30 plus, pick 1 affiliate partner where it's a product that you'd recommend anyways, like a course, a tool, a service in your pond, and then mention it naturally where relevant. And then day 60 plus, draft your floor 3 offer with Claude from the collected questions, 1 specific result for 1 specific person at a premium price, and sell it in conversations, not the funnel. Now, this is the slow way of doing things, right? I'm purposely making this very slow because I realize you guys are busy out there, and this is what can realistically fit into 1 hour a day or less. But if you want to do this faster, you can definitely compress this into even like a weekend or a couple of weeks. Now, you might be thinking, well, Shane, nobody's going to pay me. They're not paying you. They're paying the person who showed up every week and proved that they understood the problem. And that person is 90 days ahead of where you're standing right now. And the only way to become them is to start. Okay, so now let's talk about the moat, because this is the part that makes this whole plan bulletproof for the next decade. The AI slop wave isn't your competition, it's your moat. So think about what's happening right now. The internet is flooding with faceless, auto-generated content, and audiences can smell it from a mile away. Plus, platforms are cracking down on it, advertisers are running away from it, and every wave of that garbage makes one asset more valuable than ever, and that is authenticity, right? A real human face with a real track record. So here's the analogy that makes it all click. AI can counterfeit the content, but it cannot counterfeit the passport. Your face, your name, your documented climb, that's the passport. Claude can write it with you all day long, but it can't be you. And in an economy drowning in fakes, the passport is the one asset that appreciates, right? Your personal brand, your authenticity, your realness is the asset. So use Claude as your brainstorming partner, but make sure that it doesn't replace you, because if it replaces you, automatically, that's gonna be AI slop. And this play is older than electricity, by the way, right? In 732, a printer in Philadelphia, a guy who'd literally run away from home at 17 with nothing, invented a character called Poor Richard and started publishing an almanac under that name. Now, everyone had almanacs. Nobody had personality. Poor Richard's almanac became one of the best-selling things in the colonies, printed year after year, and Benjamin Franklin retired from the print shop at 42, wealthy, while every venture that he touched afterward sold because his name was on it. So Benjamin freaking Franklin, guys, built a personal brand back in like 1732 with Poor Richard's Almanac. And because of that personal brand that he built, he was able to get a lot of attention, a lot of influence, and make a boatload of money. And every single venture that he touched after that, he was like the freaking Michelin man. Like everything he touched turned to gold. And sure, he's a really smart guy, but it was because of his personal brand, guys. So Franklin didn't build a print shop and hope. He built a personal brand that made everything attached to itself. So your channel is your almanac, right? That's your version of Poor Charlie's Almanac. And that's exactly why, starting from zero today, I'd build the brand before I ever built the business. And if you want the modern ceiling for this, Felix, one of our community members, built his personal brand in the investing niche into a multi-8-figure business, right? So same playbook, but bigger pond, more years, but the same mechanics. Audience first, business attached to it. And by the way, you're going to see this everywhere once you notice the pattern, right? Physics Walla started recording in his parents' basement and he got lots of views, helped a bunch of people, built his personal brand, and then his brand became a one-person company, and that company became something that is valued in the billions now. Alex Hormozi's channel feeds his acquisitions. Mr. Beast launches products into an audience that's already sold, and none of them are special. They're just using the same playbook that I'm handing you right now at a smaller scale in a smaller pond starting today. Now, one warning though, and I know, I watch these windows open and close for a living. The document your climb with AI lane is damn near empty right now, and at the exact moment the tools got good, I give it 12 to 18 months before it's completely crowded, right? So the people who start now get grandfathered in as the originals. Everyone else spends 2028 fighting for scraps. And again, we're gonna go deep into how to be the first in lane at the workshop this week. So again, click the link in the description in the pinned comment below to attend that. All right, now let me show you what 0 to 90 days actually looks like. Not the highlight reel, but the real timeline. Week 1, you got your pond locked in, right? You got your niche. First video posted. It's rough, it's imperfect, but it's up. Days 8 through 30, volume. One long form video a week, and you don't have to sell anything if you want to, but as long as it doesn't take you a lot of extra time, you could sell 1-hour coaching sessions, or you could just put affiliate links in your description, right? And you're not failing during this stretch, you're collecting data, okay? Then days 31 to 60, your first small checks show up. An affiliate commission, the monetization threshold, and the comments and the feedback that you're getting from audience is going to start writing your offer for you. Then days 61 to 90, you build that offer with Claude and you sell it. And one sale changes everything because now it's not a theory, it's a business. So it kind of works like a popcorn bag, right? Nothing, 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 then one pop, and then all of a sudden pop, 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 pop. Then the whole bag goes, right? So there's not going to be any pops for a long period of time. But then once that first kernel pops, the other ones start popping as well. And your older videos that didn't work at first are going to start getting views. Now, if you want to see this timeline in the wild, it's my own brother, Zach. He's in his 50s, 30 years in the trades. He could barely operate the camera on his phone. And his moment was realizing that his industry knowledge was content gold that nobody had touched. And the pivot, one pond, helping people pick the right trade career instead of a little bit of everything. And the action is the exact machine from phase 2, about 15 to 30 minutes a day. Then day 19, 1,000 subscribers. Day 21, monetized. Day 29, $214 in a single day from AdSense alone, with nothing to sell yet. And then by month 3, he was having $400 and even $500 days, and he started making money from affiliate marketing. And he is not special. He just had access to the playbook, the same one that you've now watched me hand you for free. So let me point the finger at you for a second. What is actually stopping you? Be honest, because I don't know how died about 15 minutes ago. And I have nothing to offer, died with Craig and Jen. I'm too old, died with the 50-something trades guy out earning tech bros. And the only thing left standing between you and this is whether you'll actually start. And Zach is not the outlier, right? This wall keeps on growing. And I work with clients that make multi 8 figures a year, right? And I don't talk about those clients that often because I don't want to give you unrealistic results, but those are the outliers. But there's tons of people making full-time incomes on YouTube, even making more than their full-time jobs on YouTube, working a fraction of the time. And once you post enough videos, it becomes passive. Tracy grew her views 234% in her first month. Raggy doubled the amount of AdSense money she was making. Neil pulled $5,000 from his first 2 coaching buyers. Dr. Peter went from 0 to 1,000 subs in about 2 months. Lewis is building the Spanish language AI pond as we speak. And Nathan is making a full-time income teaching people how to get better at freaking chess, right? Different ages, different ponds, different countries, but the same playbook. Now, I know that 99% of you are going to watch my free content, get a ton of value out of it. You're going to download the free resources that I put in the description in the pinned comment below, get a ton of value out of those. And you're definitely going to attend the live training because that's going to be the most value for sure that I give out of all of my free stuff. And again, it's all completely free. And I know that 99% of you are going to get a ton of value out of that. And we are never going to work together. And that's completely fine. I always want to give way more value than I receive, at least 10 to 100 times more value than what I receive. But I know that 1% of you or even 0.1% of you out there are going to want one-on-one mentorship with myself and my team. Or you want us to literally just do the work for you when it comes to building your one-person business, your personal brand, your YouTube channel. Literally just do the work for you. Or work very, very closely with you in a one-on-one mentorship to help you do it yourself. And if that sounds like you, go ahead and click the link in the description in the pinned comment below to book a call with my team. On this call, we'll figure out where you are right now, where you want to be. We'll make a plan to get there, and we'll see if we're a good fit to work together or not. We can only accept 3 to 5 people right now, and we only accept about 18% of people who apply to book a call. So only do it if you're very serious about growing and making money on YouTube. But these are the types of people we typically work with. Professionals who have at least 10 years of industry experience, or people who are overachievers. Basically, people who can give value, right? People who have wisdom, knowledge, experience, and they can give value on YouTube and help other people solve their problems. But also we work with business owners who wants to get views, build their brand, get leads, make sales, make revenue from YouTube. We also work with YouTubers who are getting a lot of views, but they're struggling with monetization. We also work with YouTubers who are crushing it, but they want to crush it even harder. And we work with people who have big social media followings on other platforms, but they know YouTube is the best, so they want to come over to YouTube. So if that sounds like you, again, apply for that link in the description in the pinned comment below to work with us one-on-one, and we look forward to talking with you. With that being said, I highly recommend you check out this video right here where we go over exactly how we help Nurse Jen go from zero to a full-time income in just a few months, quit her job and travel all across the United States in her camper van, living her dream life, and make $10,000 in a single month. And you can click that video right here to check that out.